That's why I can be a Hindu dean of religious life, and that's why my predecessor could be a rabbi. She was the first non-Christian in American history to be the chief religious leader of a university, and I'm the second, because we don't have preaching responsibilities at a university chapel. So at every other university, which is oriented around a university chapel, the university chaplain or the dean of religious life has to be an ordained Protestant minister, because that person also has preaching responsibilities at the church or the chapel that belongs to the university. So USC has a very different model to religious life. I feel like the work I do is not from the pulpit, but my pulpit is through programming. My pulpit is through meeting students where they're at. My pulpit is through getting into classrooms and talking about meaning, purpose, and identity in a pre-professional capacity. I have a different kind of approach to what ministry might look like on university campuses, but it's really, I think, because USC's structure is so unique that I'm even in a position where I'm able to do this. In terms of our religious demographic, we have 10,000 Catholic students, so we're the largest Catholic school, I believe, in the West. We have more Catholic students than Notre Dame, if you can believe it. We don't have a higher percentage of Catholic students, but we have more Catholic students. We also have more Hindu students than any school in the United States, because we have such a large Indian student population. And we have about 5 to 8% of our population that's Jewish, and about roughly the same that's Muslim. So we're very diverse. We have more student religious groups than any school in the country. I oversee over 90 different student religious groups. So I say from A to Z of religion, from atheists to Zoroastrians, we have them all. And we have more campus religious directors than any school in the country. I oversee the largest and most diverse group of religious professionals and clerics working at any university in the United States. We have over 50. So that means when students come in for pastoral care or spiritual counseling, they can choose between an Orthodox and a conservative rabbi. They can choose between seeing a Swami, or seeing a monk, or seeing a Catholic priest, or seeing a progressive Christian, or seeing an evangelical pastor. Wherever they're at, we have resources to support them. So that's also a new type of model. Historically, the university chaplain would be the one person that everyone went to for pastoral or spiritual care. But now, because we have such a large staff, we can sort of connect students to people from their own tradition in ways that we just weren't able to do before. And lastly, I would say that what's remarkable about USC and Los Angeles is the most religiously diverse city in the world. There are more types of Buddhists, for example, in Los Angeles than any city in human history. And this is, in terms of, we don't think of Los Angeles as a Buddhist city, but this is the most diverse and dynamic Buddhist city the world has ever known. So it's not just that we have diversity like Buddhists, Muslims, Christians. We have geo-religious diversity. We have Buddhists from all over the Buddhist world, Muslims from all over the Muslim world. So that aspect, that geo-religious diversity, is really exciting to work with, because it shows that these traditions aren't these monolithic entities, but they're denominational, they're evolving, they look different in different places. Yeah, I'm optimistic for our students. I'm less optimistic about governments. I think that eventually it's the grassroots that drives the government. No change in American history, no change for positive social justice has ever been made by a government official. They've always been pushed by the people to do something. That's the way government works. You have to push to get something done. If you look at the abolition of slavery, if you look at the advent of civil rights, if you look at women's rights and equality, if you look at environmental protections, none of that, no president ever said, I'm going to do this because this is the right thing to do. They only do things because grassroots communities mobilize and push them to do those things. Even someone as morally sort of admirable as Nelson Mandela once said to his constituency, I'm not going to just go out and do these things. It's your job to make me do those things. So I think that's the way government works. It's up to us anyway to make government do things. So the better organized we are, the more grassroots organizations we're a part of, the more technologically connected we are. I think we can do those things. We saw that with Obama. Obama was a change candidate, now he's an establishment candidate. Well, that's what government is. If so many people are so upset about some of Obama's policies, especially those on the left and his progressive base, what I would say to them is, where is your excitement? You got him elected, you were so excited, and then we just felt like he would go out and do everything. But it's up to the progressive community to keep pushing, 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 otherwise nothing will get done. That's how government works. Government responds to people that it represents. The more we push, the more it represents us. And that's why I thought, his comment in the debate, they asked him, they had a debate between John Edwards, Hillary Clinton, and Barack Obama. I think it was it was on an anniversary of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, I think, and there was a question about Martin Luther King, and the commentator said, which one of you would Martin Luther King endorse? And John Edwards said, he would endorse me because, I'm down with poor people. And Hillary Clinton said, he would endorse me because I'm breaking, the gender barrier. And Barack Obama, who could have very easily said he would endorse me because I'm the first African-American candidate, said he wouldn't endorse any of us because it's not up to, he knows that what he would do is he would push all of us when we came into government. He wouldn't be someone who would campaign for us, but he would push all of us for his agenda when we became elected. I thought that was the real truthful answer, not just about who Martin Luther King was, but about the nature of government itself.